Hey everyone, so I wanted to make lasagna on my first ever Cooking with Victory show, but I didn't have any lasagna noodles on hand, and since we're in quarantine, I just decided to go ahead and still make it, but use spaghetti noodles. So that's what I'm doing. I have some boiling water here, which I'm about to put my pasta in, and I have some, about 1.5 pounds of ground beef here, and I'm gonna add to that some basil leaves, obviously not fresh. It's from a little canister. I'm going to add some parsley, some crushed red pepper, just a little shake, and then some Italian seasoning blend here. And I'm just going to let this ground beef finish doing what it's doing. And while that's doing that, I'm going to put my spaghetti in the water. Only last one. Got it. And then I'll get a spoon to stir that. All right. So that's going. I'm going to bring you down here now so you can see what I'm making in front of me here. So this is going to be the white cheesy layer. So I'm using cottage cheese. This is 4% milk fat cottage cheese. I'm going to empty that into my bowl. To that I'm going to add 2 eggs. Now I'm going to rinse my fingers because I just handled egg. And then to that I'm going to add probably about 1/2 cup of grated Parmesan cheese. Just this. And then I'm going to mix that up without spilling it out of the bowl. And there's that. All right, we're moving back up here. And my ground beef is just about totally browned here. By the way, I have the camera sitting inside my cupboard. Alright, this is almost done. It's probably a couple more minutes. I like to chop it up really small and then make sure it's even on the bottom of the pan. I'll set this over here for the moment and I'll stir my spaghetti noodles. Tim's in the other room glaring at me. And yes, I'm wearing leggings. Alright, so next I do have approximately a 9x13 casserole dish here. And when everything's done, I'm going to layer the meat with sauce on the bottom, and then I'm going to put the noodles on top of that, and then half of this mixture, and then a layer of mozzarella cheese, and then repeat the layers, and then I'm going to bake it at 350 for about 45 minutes, maybe a little less than 45 minutes, depending on how golden brown the cheese is getting on top. But this is just about done, so I think I'm going to pause this and come back at you when I have it ready to layer. Hey again, back here I'm ready to assemble my lasagna. I have preheated my oven to 350 and it's at 175 right now, so it's getting there. So when I drained my ground beef, I do it differently than a lot of people. Basically I just push it all to one side and then let all the grease drain to one side, and then I use this spoon right here to spoon it out from the side like this into the trash because I don't want it in my drain. So that's how I do that. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and put half of this ground beef and spaghetti sauce mixture in the bottom of the pan. Normally I use Aldi's Regano brand in the traditional, but I happen to do my quarantine shopping at Harding's and Prego is on sale, so that's what I got, roasted garlic and herb. So I'm just gonna spread this out. You can kind of see I'm just kind of flattening it, pushing it into all the sides and all the corners. I think I might have just under half, so I'm gonna take another scoop here. And it's important that the layers are very flat and evenly distributed. That way you get a little bit of everything in each bite. All right, that's done. So now I have my spaghetti that I have drained. One thing you should know about, I did wash my hands by the way. One thing you should know about pasta, if you're going to cook the pasta and then bake it, you should rinse it in cold water to stop it from cooking. That way it doesn't get overly tender when you are baking it. So these noodles are pretty evenly distributed now, I think. That's about half of the mixture. And then next I'm going to take half of my cottage cheese, egg, and Parmesan cheese mixture and just kind of spoon that in, and then I'll smooth it out with the back of my spoon so it's a nice even layer. And you just eyeball it. I mean, if it's not perfect, that's totally fine. Cooking is about making it your own. Tim's in there laughing at me because I'm trying to be a real cooking host, but that's totally fine because we're quarantined and this is what we do. We do fun things and we pretend we're real cooking hosts. So again, I'm just spreading this out in a very even layer. Okay, that's about done. Now I'm gonna add some cheese to this. Cheese is the best part of everything. I'm just sprinkling it evenly. Boom. Good, and now we're gonna repeat the layers. Through the magic of television, I'll come back at you in a minute. All right, so I have done my 3 layers and then repeated them. And now I'm putting my final topping of cheese. And on the top layer, I'm not just going to do the mozzarella cheese. I'm gonna go ahead and use the rest of this bag. I'm also going to sprinkle some of this Parmesan, the grated Parmesan on top, just because it just, you know, the more cheese, the better in my opinion. I just love it. My whole family loves it, so it's good. So I'm just gonna take the grated Parmesan cheese, sprinkle that on here. And awesome. My oven just beeped a couple minutes ago. I'm just getting all the extra cheese off the edge of the pan here because I don't want it to bake on there and burn on there. So my oven just beeped that it's ready at 350. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this in. And I'm doing it on the middle rack. I'm gonna start it at 40 minutes and we'll see how it comes out. And then after it cools, I'll give you guys another little video of it and then maybe of Tim eating it too. All right guys, I just took it out of the oven. As you can see, just the edges here are nice and golden brown and it's still bubbling. So generally you wanna let this cool for about 15 minutes and then go ahead and cut into it and serve it up. That way it's not like boiling hot and, you know, burning the skin off the roof of your mouth when you bite into it. Anyway, if you make this recipe, let me know. Thanks for watching.